piece of paper. It's just an ordinary printer paper, copier paper. And if you're stuck for, but you can work with a white piece like this. I'm going to start with wrapping a little box, simple little box like that, which is your typical gift in all the movies. Let's just see. It just about fits, and that's okay. The idea is we could wrap it plainly, and that would be beautiful, and we could decorate it later. Or what I like to do sometime is, let's say we have a little theme for this. It's a Christmas gift, let's say. So I have my gold marker here, and I'm just going to do some, I don't know, what are these? Stars. Little stars everywhere. That's kind of Christmassy, isn't it? Nothing too fancy. Doesn't have to be perfect. They don't have to be all the same. They don't even have to be all... I'm going to try one of those ones, which I always get wrong, unless I really study it. Not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I did that wrong, didn't I? Yeah, that's beautiful. You get what I mean. And a few, whatever you think of. And it doesn't have to be this quick either. You can have a little think about it. I'll do a snowman. Hat, his pipe, and his buttons. Little smile. The other idea would be, okay, I'll do a Christmas bauble here. La la la. And so on. I think I'll stick with my original stars, right, for the moment anyhow. So there you go. I'm sure you could think of other nice things to put in there. A bit of snow falling everywhere. What about that? Now, so there we have our Christmas themed piece of paper. You can do the exact same on some card, or so you could take a piece of this, stick it on some card, glue, and then just cut out your little tag. I'm going to draw the pattern on the back, a bigger star for the tag. Yeah, okay, well that's a bit better. And I'll cut that out. So there you go, we have a little tag. What I have here is you don't have to use this, you can use a punch or you can use anything else. It's kind of cute, look, it's kind of irregular. You can see the shape of it there. And peep at where the hole might go. That's fine. A little bit of string, about 12 inches long or 10 inches long. Whatever you've got will work, really. They look different from the back and the front, whichever you prefer. Just have a little check. And then put the joint, the loop through, and then put the legs through the loop. Now, that's kind of it. That's your little gift tag, and you can put to and from at the back. And here's your paper. Back to wrapping. Turn your paper over. Pop your box. Your little gift is inside, let's say. I think it's slightly narrower that way. I don't know if it's fully square, but let's just say that's the way it goes. Up with your paper on one side, up on the other side. That's grand. You don't even have to use sticky tape. I don't like using sticky tape, so I just, oops. What you can use is a little paper sticker. They're better for the environment. If I really need, this is stiff paper, so it's not cooperating very well. I'm going to keep my pattern, as much of the pattern on the outside as I can, on with a tiny little sticker. Down, press it in at the bottom, nice and tight. Fold your little creases so that it's nice and neat. I know this is relatively simple, but some people are it's just not on in their mindset to do this. So that's grand. Same with the other side. Fold in the sides, nice and tight, right into the bottom. Oops, keep it all neat. And as neat as possible without going crazy. And that is your box, kind of wrapped. So turn it. I sometimes just use one bow. This one might be big enough. Yeah, there, look, at its perfect colour. So we'll just do that. This is a little ribbon that I'd saved. I saved ribbon and string and pretty things off bits of clothes. And if you're really stuck, you can just cut a little slice off the end of a nice piece of material and use that. And you don't have to have a full bow. This is really sweet. Wait till you see. Just tie a little knot. And that is a cutie little Christmas gift. And then you can just add in. Now obviously had I done this with my paper, it would have matched a little better. So you write your little note, pop it on there, and you're done. Now you can change your theme up. You can change your colours up. You can change the paper. You can use a little piece of material. You can use newspaper, magazine page, wallpaper. It's really nice sometimes to use. And you have a little themed gift for somebody. Ta-da! Now, if you have an irregular shape, like this wee little angel, this is a little Christmas topper, tree topper from Parade Handmade. I really like her. She reminds me of a little 70s diva with her stars in her hair and everything. But she's very light. So you can do this with material. You can do it with paper. This is roughly a square of brown paper. But this is for a decorative packaging idea. Now let's say, again, it's going to be a kind of Christmassy just because the theme is Christmassy. I'm not going to colour the paper or anything. But let's say you have your little angel. She's very light. So normally when I say place your little present in the middle of a square. Now a square, you can know a square by, let's say you have a roll of paper. You just take the very end of the paper and you bring it across to the other side. And then you'll know when all the sides meet up, it's pretty much a square. And as you see, this is slightly off, but it's pretty much there. So that's going to work just fine. Normally, when I say you can do that with material as well, as I said, or wallpaper, or centerpiece of a magazine, as long as the colour doesn't come off onto your item. If you're going to use a magazine as the colouring, just have a plain piece on the inside so that the colour doesn't come off on the item if you're worried about that, especially if there's any kind of dampness in the air or anything. Place your little item in the centre. Normally I'd say if it's got a nice weight to it, I say grab the corners first and then stick in the sides. But I've tried that a moment ago and I find that my little angel is too light to do that with. So what I do is take the sides up first. You have to hold her in position. Take the sides up to the centre just so that they meet. Now this is a little bit tricky, but you can hold her. Remember, you can actually hold her as well at the same time. Just make sure it only curls up. You're trying to get the three sides into the centre first. Now, once you have a grip on that, you can then, and it's quite casual, you can see you have the centre all grabbed. Take your side pieces in and hold them roughly where you're going to put your bow, which is sort of enough to hold the piece, but cover the piece, but also you can use all your fingers to hold them in position until you encourage them without crinkling every piece of paper. But it doesn't matter if something crinkles. See that one? I'm going to release it a little bit just to straighten that out a tad. Right. Now, and I think that's fine. It doesn't have to be like super tight right into the inside. So now I have my little piece of string. I like a simple piece of string on brown paper. I think it's gorgeous. This is actually cord. This is cotton cord. Wrap it around. It's nice if you go around a few times, if you have enough to use. A few times just looks kind of generous. It just gives it a nice finish. Just close it. So that's for your awkward shapes. Now you can do that with big pieces as well. You can do it with everything awkward, like teddies or something that doesn't have four sides, you know, something that's not an obvious. Now, sometimes an awkward shape can just go in a box and you can wrap the box, but just make sure to secure your item on the inside, especially if it's brittle. And that's really cutie. And what you can do is then just, you know, into your box again of bits and bobs if you have, and just tie a little bow with something pretty. Anything, cut the end off your skirt if you're desperate. But a cord, curtain cord, I've saved so many things for this purpose. The handles from some bags. If you can get a bow onto this. Sometimes it's not worth the stress, but you kind of will know if you're going to be able to get a bow with the two ends and if it's going to stay there. Now, of course, glue gun will stick everything. I'm not mad on using gadgets, only when I really have to. So if I can do this without getting the glue out and the electricity and all that, I will. Now, look. Isn't that really sweet? And that's just out of a little piece of paper. Now, it's very light because the angel's in it, but la 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 la, it's done. Now you can decorate that obviously again. I mean, even if we were just to go around it with black or white or just and put little snowballs or little circles or a little kind of look. You can even do this all over it. Do what you like. It's really fun. And there you go. You have something round to wrap. I've taken a simple CD here just for the size, but you can wrap anything, even something, you know, like the the size of a top of a biscuit tin. But let's just say it's your CD without a cover, which wouldn't really happen, but let's just pretend. It'll be about, roughly about, piece of paper, about twice and a little bit over, twice and a half the width of your thing, of your item. Same here, give or take. Pop it in the center. And the idea here is to simply fold it in. It doesn't even have to be quite as big. Just fold it in and just start, whoops, it moved there. Just start pleating like this, because like we say, the wrapping police aren't out. So there's not going to be a mistake here. Do you see the way it's beginning to form a nice thing? It's not by design. I'm just pressing it down and I'm making it up. I'm just hugging the paper to the edge of the circle. And whichever way that lands, I'm just folding that. Take it up here. Make sure it's hugging there, pretty much. There's a piece of paper under there from my other turns, but that's okay. And then just make sure that you can get a fold on it. And remember, you're stronger than the paper. Don't pull it too much that it rips or anything, but you can just get a nice tuck. You're going to get extra paper like me on the inside, but that's all right. You can just fold it down. Eventually, none of that's going to matter. Now, if you had a neater piece of paper, a little bit more exact, you could cut it up, start again. I am not really in the habit of doing that. I don't like wasting much paper if I can. I always remember every little piece came from a tree. So, see, I'm nearly all the way around now already. It's the simplest thing. Of course, the ending will be the trick to get it nice, like you did it intentionally that way, which you kind of did. See, that little piece is going to peep out, so you can ward against that. You can just fold that in now already before you get to it. And that one is done. And then this one is sticking out a little bit. So let me see what I can do about that. Maybe I can fold that in first. And then we'll fold those two down. Let me see, that's going to be nicer there. Okay. Okay, fiddle, fiddle. Get it down. And you've got it all finished. So what you can do is you can just fold that in like that. And put it down. Now, of course, it doesn't look as neat as it might be. You just tuck it in. Tuck, 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 so that it looks neat, basically. And then you have your little parcel. Now, I'm just going to turn it upside down for the moment. I like the folded side to be the gift side. Now, so to have a little decorative piece, a little sticker to seal it. Let me see what size it needs to be. Not too big. I'm going to do a little kind of a flower shape. I'm just going to go circle, circle right over to the edge of my sticker. Circle, one in the middle. Circle, 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 circle. Now, where's my little paper scissors? I'm just going to take the back off. Ready? Just a little bit of determination. Now, and turn it over and stick it on. Now you can also, just hold that there for a second. Have a little bit of your bow from earlier, something pretty. Okay, one thing you can do for yourself if you do have a glue gun is stick it ever so slightly. I bet you all thought of that before, but anyway, that's me for you. Put that there, pop your little bow on the top, and then your little sticker over the top of that. And you have yourself a rounded gift. With big ones or small ones. Now, if you're really stuck, get a pizza box, frozen pizza, where you wouldn't have any food touching the box. Turn it inside out, stick it back together with paper tape, and you have yourself a perfect box for something that size. And off you go. La, 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 la. So here we have a little necklace. Jewellery is a beautiful thing to wrap. It's small, it's dainty. You can get really imaginative with it. So what I like to do is, if I don't have a little box similar to what I had earlier, a little box or maybe a recycled box from before, I like to make a little fabric bag. I like the idea of having fabric for the jewellery for long term, for storing it, for bringing it on holidays, etc., etc. And it's really easy to whip up a little fabric bag very quickly. And you can have fun with this. This is a piece of material. It's just a strip I cut. It's about 2 hands, the width of 2 hands long, if you can see. finger to thumb, just 2 spans of the hand. It's not an exact science, so don't worry. As long as when you fold it, it's going to house your piece nicely, and that will fit in there without squashing it too much. Get your little piece out, cut it. As you see, it's not an exact science. It doesn't have to be. You can make it really exact. You can get your pinking shears for paper, so it won't work, but you can cut along the sides like that and stop your material from fraying. Will help stop it from fraying. You can run a couple of rows of stitching down each side if you want instead. You can do 2 rows of stitching there and there. You can do it really quickly with a big tack, you know, just a knot in one end coming in from the inside. Nice is nice to hide the knot, but then just go in and out and in and out and in and out, and then tie it off, going around and around and around a couple of times on each end, and that's great. It doesn't matter if you have some threads loose. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly perfect. It's part of the aesthetic. It's really nice. It's kind of an eclectic, artsy, pretty little look. This is the top and this is the top. So you don't want to glue the sides. You just want to glue up along there. So I'm going to do it quickly as I can, because you know glue, push this through. Glue tends to dry pretty quickly. So I'm just going to do that all the way to the top, and I'm going to do one side at a time because I know how fast this stuff dries. So press it down. You feel the heat through it, so don't burn your fingers. Run it down there. Oh, this is better the second time. Yeah, that worked. Okay, in you go. Make sure that your glue has somewhere to drip. So I have that little piece of card from earlier. That's a little bit uneven at the top, and that's okay. This is going to go zigzag, or you know what, like a wave. That is my little bag created. Here we go. Little piece of jewellery. And then all you have to do is secure this little part. Now I have some sari silk here that I don't know where I got that. I could cut up an old scarf. That's what I did. I had an old scarf and I cut it up into something like this. I think, oh, I know what this was for. This is for making cord for necklaces. Gather in the top, put it around, and tie your little bow. You can just use super strong glue. If you're really, really stuck, you might be able to use a strong mixture of flour and water. We used to do that as children and it worked just fine. It won't be as permanent. This will last for a while. A person can use this for their suitcase or for their little drawer with their jewellery in it if they want. And then you have this really sweet little package. Ta-da! Now, let's say you're going to wrap something a little bit like this fairy door on this beautiful piece of wood from Liffey Forge. What I do is I save card from packaging. Do that. Bring it around. It doesn't have to be exact. And just see how far up that can go so that it'll still kind of make a box. It's not going to be a perfect box, but it's going to work really well. Right, that's one piece done. So I'll put it back in. We had it upside down, making sure not to bend the little card. Comes up and around. And like that, I'm going to bend it in there. So there, if you just fold it up, you've got yourself pretty much a little box. It's not covered on the sides, but it's definitely protected. So what I do then is I have this kind of paper parcel tape. And what I do is to just make sure that that holds a little bit of security. Now, measuring your brown paper or your wrapping paper needs to go up to the side. You want to be able to go up the side there, and it has to come back over, and then you just cut it at the same spot as the other side, so you know you've got plenty of paper. Now let's just see, that overlaps. I have a little trick when there's an overlap. Just do a little tiny pleat, just a little detail, a little pleat. It doesn't have to be straight, or it doesn't have to be anything, just a little pleat like that. So we're going to say that the other side is the top for gifting purposes. That way, or will I do it this way? Okay, it'll be easier this way. So I am going to do it this way because I just feel it's more comfortable for me. Get my little stickers out again. Here's one. It's a paper sticker sheet. So again, nice and neat in the sides. Now this is nice and long, so I don't think I'm going to have to use more stickers. Now we'll fold that down nicely. It goes up to the edge. Turn it around. As you see, you have a nice little pleat. And you get your bow or your ribbon or whatever it was. Get a nice generous piece. Go down, turn it over, twist it, go back around, and then that's going to be enough for one side of the bow, I think. And get the other piece kind of similar size. That's where you'll cut it off. You can just, and if it's too long, start again. You can figure it out very quickly. And then tie a little knot. I go under there as well, just to kind of keep it all secure. I like it so that a person can open it easily, so don't tie a big knot in it now. I just go directly into the bow. There you go. Isn't that really cool? And then, of course, yes, you can add your little tag. I stamped these out on a piece of card earlier. Recycled card, cut around them, another stamp for the back, and a bit of string, and on you go. So you can really have fun. You can stamp this then as well. You can do like we did with our Christmas one. Put little stars and little snow on it, or you can stick buttons on. You can do a lot of things. So there you go with your heavy piece. La 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 la.